So basically, we're going to look at who you are based on your birth chart, and your strengths, your weaknesses, why you're still useful if you're going out on your own. Because you guys know that nowadays people are being laid off like quite badly. And my astrology teacher believes that it's for us to really become a freelancer or become like self-employed to really survive in the upcoming air era. It's a really big like 6 hour workshop, the 6 hour talk if you want to listen to her. But so this is like the short version. So that's why everything I do in the career profiling is to tell people what they can do on their own, what they can do without having a company to do anything, without taking a salary and then doing things what your boss tells you to do. So these are things I talk about. And number two, we talk about who you serve. So basically, your natural audience. Natural audience is people who are interested in you, people who are attracted to you. But number like 2B is who will pay you. So among your natural audience, some of these people will actually pay you money, and these are the people you want to focus on. So it's kind of like if you think of me, it's like I have an Instagram channel that's for everyone, but those who are willing to learn from me, actually, there are quite there are you guys. So it's like a quite small section of the whole people who are interested in you. And the next thing we look at is your natural community. Natural community means people you want to collaborate with, people you want to work with. These are people who won't actually pay you money, but they know people who are your natural audience. They know people who are actually your target people who will pay you money. So the natural community is an interesting concept because it also means that you don't have to do it alone, especially when it comes to the future, where you might feel like, oh my gosh, if I go freelance, does it mean that I'm going to be all alone? It's very scary. No, because you'll be having a natural community go along with you. And the last thing we're going to look at is what to do, your life's mission, what your career looks like, and what you actually do day to day. So these are the 3 points I cover in the astrology career profiling. Usually it's 30 minutes. And so currently what the clients that are coming to me are from my teacher. So because she has a program where she encourages people to go freelance, there are people who need the career profiling. So she sends them to me, and I do the career profiling with them on Zoom, and then voila, I just let them go. So I decided to, for this session, I decided to use my sister's. Oh my gosh, I have no lipstick. I decided to use my sister's birth chart as an example because I thought it would be quite boring to just talk about me. My sister's birth chart as an example about how I would like do a career profile. So this is a birth chart. If you haven't seen a birth chart before, it might look super confusing, but basically this is what an astrologer looks out for when we're looking at a birth chart. We look out for where the planets lie, where the houses are, and for this we really need an accurate birth time. So the birth time that you give your astrologer has to be exact to the minute. I would say maybe 10 minutes ish is okay, but for myself, I realized that my timing was wrong for the first 2 years of learning astrology. And now that when I fixed my timing, there was some major differences that played out. So this is my sister's birth chart. Interestingly, her rising sign is Taurus, and it's 6 degrees, which is exactly where my sun is. So I think this also means that how she sees the world is how I actually live the world, or something like that. But never mind. So that is not the point. But the point today is really to figure out for my sister, because I told her that, can I use your chart, and I'm going to record it and send it to you for career profiling. So as an astrologer, what I will prepare behind the scenes really is that I will prepare a chart, which is called the elemental chart. So it's based on some figures, based on some calculations. I'm not going to show you guys. Even during the consultation, I don't show the client this because it's like basically the problem if you show people like too many things, right? They'll be focused on it so much that they actually will not absorb anything. So if you can see my sister's birth chart, her sun, I don't know whether I can, okay, let me try something. Let me try to use this in paint so that I can actually draw things on it. So this is my sister's birth chart. So just give me a second. If I'm on Zoom, I can actually use like, what's it called? Use use like marker pens to draw things on it. But since we're not, I'm going to use my Microsoft Paint to do this. Yes. Ooh. So this is my sister's birth chart. She has seen this before, but probably if you are not familiar with astrology, you might not know, what the frick is happening. So looking at my sister's birth chart, she is born as a Cancer, so it means that she is a sign of the crab. People who have Cancer as their sun sign, they are very protective about people they care about. They are very nurturing as well, and the side note is that they love food. So my sister and her husband are born on the same day, so it also means that they're both like super Cancer. Not super Cancer, but they both match each other sun sign wise. But so my sister is a Cancer, but the thing is, her whole birth chart, if I add in the different planets, so these everything here, these are all planets, these are all planets. If I add them up, I have like figures behind it. If I add them up, she's actually a Pisces dominant. So it also means that she's actually a Pisces. You know, she was born in Cancer, but she's actually a Pisces. How she sees the world, how she interacts with the world is very Pisces in nature. So what does that mean? So I have a lot of people in here who are Pisces, so you guys would know. But so for a person who is Pisces dominant, is that they're very emotional, sensitive, dreamy, creative, intuitive, compassionate. I think compassion is a huge deal for Pisces people, and they are very changeable, and they are willing to sacrifice a lot, and they're very unselfish. So this is the good Pisces stuff. The bad things with Pisces is that they can be escapists, they can be practical, and then if they're addicted to something, they would be like super addictive to it. I don't know about my sister. um, but I would say that if you are Pisces, if you are heavy Pisces, and you actually stumble into things such as drugs, you're gonna be find it hard to get out of it. So it's quite like the danger side of Pisces. And this also applies to you if you have planets in Pisces as well. But it's less powerful if you only have like a few planets, like one or two planets in Pisces. But so my sister is Pisces dominant. So it also means that if she's actually self-employed now, she works as a financial consultant. It actually means that if you are a Pisces dominant and you want to find freelance job, you want to be self-employed, you should be going to careers where you are able to be selfless, where you are able to show people that you care, where you're able to basically just be the best Pisces that you can, where you are able to sacrifice for other people, but not to the extent that you're sacrificing your own self. So for Pisces people, you have to really, really balance that side, which can be difficult sometimes. Okay. Yep. So that's my sister, Pisces dominant. So I would encourage her to go into fields where she can be helpful to other people, and where she can be like emotional, sensitive, and also compassionate. So I encourage her to go into that. And for my sister's birth chart, she is very high in water because basically, if you look at her birth chart, she has a lot of planets in the water sign. So her natural sun in Cancer is also already water. Her moon and Pluto in guys, yesterday I had some drink, so I'm a bit like, oh, my brain is a bit fuzzy. But her moon and Pluto is already in Scorpio, and her Mars is in Pisces. So these are three major planets, or three major planets plus a minor planet in water sign. So it means that her water score is super high. Her water score is 12 score, like the points is 12. Usually the average should be 8, but then hers is 12. So for people with high water, it means that they're very sensitive, they're intuitive, they're emotional, and they're empathetic. They are basically people who would sit down. Oh, sorry. Her water score is actually 9, not 12. Her water score is 9. So people with high water scores, they're sensitive, intuitive, empathetic, and then emotional. So it also means that when she's looking for a job, when you're looking for a job, since my sister's gonna watch it, is that you want to find a job where you're able to use these skills you have. You're able to be like helping other people. Basically, when you help other people, it's really like you hold their hands and then you just like sit through it with them. A lot of other different types of helping people could be if you have a heavy air, you help people using theory, you help people using like, you know what, here's a report that I did for you, take it and absorb it. And if you're high earth, what you want to do is actually help people in the material things. It's like things you can see, you can touch, things that are very actionable as well. And for people with high fire, you encourage people by being the example, by being like your fiery self, by being like, oh no, I'm so action oriented. And then people, when they look at you, they're just like, whoa, I want to be that person because you're so high fire. But for my sister, it's high water. So sensitive, intuitive, emotional, empathy is something that she should go for. And the modality wise, she is high in mutable. Mutable means that the jobs that she look for should be adaptable, changeable, and where it is not the same thing again and again and again. So it must be something that she can make changes here, make changes there, adapt it here, adapt it there, so that it's exciting and interesting for her. The other two modalities are cardinal and fixed. If you are high in cardinal, you need to start things. You need to start things from zero. And if you're fixed, you need to continue with one thing, just like continue it on forever and ever and ever and ever, just so that it's not too changeable, that it's, just like excites you too much, and then you just like cannot function. So those are who she is as a person. So this information is useful because when you're looking for jobs, when you're looking for work, you want to do things that are very you. You don't want to do things where, your mom says you should be a lawyer and then, okay, like, I'll freelance being a lawyer. But if you're a lawyer and you're very high Pisces, you need to be a lawyer who is basically helping the downtrodden, the people who cannot help themselves. So really depending on your dominant archetype, depending on your modality and elements, how you do things are going to be very, very different. Okay. So I think at this point, if you are not familiar with astrology, you are probably like, oh, what the fuck? Yes. I say just continue listening, because there might be something you can learn as well, especially for people who have a bit of astrology knowledge. I'm going to get to the interesting parts. Okay. Part 2 that we're going to look at is who you serve. So basically, this is about how the people that you actually service, and also the people who actually give you money. And you might say, what do you mean by people who give me money and also people who I service? Because as I was mentioning, oh my gosh, I have like cereal that's super lumpy because I haven't had breakfast. So basically, it's like you serve your natural audience. It's a very wide audience. And then among these, there are people who actually pay you money. So I'm going to dive into this using the birth chart. So if you guys know a bit of astrology, this will be the fun part. So the things we're going to look at for your natural audience is your 7th house ruler. So I'm going super into jargon and I really cannot stop. But your 7th house ruler, basically, my sister's 7th house is Scorpio. The Scorpio's ruler is both Pluto and also Mars. Because we're using both the traditional and we're also using the modern. So it means that her natural audience, the people who like her, are number one, Pluto in Scorpio's 7th house. People in crisis or people who want transformation, especially in their relationships. This is very interesting because when the people who like my sister, they go to her not because actually they have money problems, but because they want relationships. Because my sister is a very kind person, I would say, that when she like gets in touch with people, it's really like she's focused on the other person. Because if you look at my sister's birth chart as well, right, the 7th house, which is this one, has 2 planets inside, which means that for her, this is something that's going to play a large part in her life. For me, I only have Pluto, which also means that I'm very suspicious of other people. But her, she has her moon in it. For the moon to be in the 7th house, it kind of means that your emotional comfort also lies in the other person. You are very other person focused. You want to help other people because you really care about them. So for my sister, it's really the Pluto, Scorpio, 7th house, people in crisis, people who want transformation, and then they want like deep connection. That's why they go to her, because she is like another person to talk to. And the next thing we're going to look at is also Mars in the 11th house. So the people who go to her is also people who want to take action, who need to take action when it comes to their community or also their future plans. But the problem with these people is that they need to be saved, or they need to not being saved, but they also want to save other people. So it's an interesting combination, because it also means that the people that like her are people who need help, but also they themselves want to help their community and also help themselves when it comes to their future plans. Of course, if you're buying insurance, if you're buying like stocks and stuff like that, you are thinking about yourself, and you're also thinking about your future plans and probably even your community or your family. So these are people who will go to my sister. So I repeat it. Number one is people in crisis or want transformation, and they're very focused on relationships, and also people who need saving in her community, or even like people who need to be saved, or who actually. So interesting thing about the Mars in Pisces is that they have big dreams. These people, sometimes they have big dreams, but then they cannot achieve it, and then they totally give up. So personally, I am not someone who can help these people. I'm like, if you want to give up on your life, go and just give up on yourself. But my sister, naturally, she's able to do that for other people, which is great because it also means that you have different strengths versus other people. Other people serve different people. So that's how astrology works. And so we talked about her natural audience. It's like people who likes her, but who will actually pay her money. So who will pay her money is indicated by the second house ruler. So her second house is Gemini. Gemini's ruler is Mercury. So Mercury is right over here. And you cannot see this in this birth chart, but my sister has a stationary Mercury. So stationary Mercury means that these people, they have ideas, they have thoughts, but then it's always kept like in a container, and then it's just like I want to release it, let it go, but they don't know how to. So people who pay her money, who are actually willing to, like, you know what, I want you to help me, here's some money, not like here's some money, but here's my money, help me manage it. The reason I say money and help me manage it is also because her Mercury is in the second house. Second house is really about money and also about personal values. So the people who go to her is that people want to learn, talk, think about information relating to their money or their value. So interesting, right? It's like basically financial advisory is something that quite suits her. But of course, in the future, it doesn't also mean that you are stuck with financial advisory. I think in the future, where there are going to be new industries coming out, maybe you will be able to find an industry that actually applies to this as well, that everything that we talked about applies as well. So the people who will pay my sister money are also people who have information that they keep, and they're afraid of making a move because it's kind of like they have a lot of info and they're just like, I'm going to keep all this info, but I'm afraid of making a move. So for my sister, actually go in with extra information and telling them that, you know what, you can trust me because I have like done all my research, I have done all the work, and you can trust me with your money as well. So these are people who will pay her money. And then the last thing we're going to look at is her natural community, her collaborators. So collaborators are represented by, let me double check now. Yes, represented by the ruler of 11th house. So 11th house is about community. So her 11th house is Pisces. So the ruler of Pisces is both Neptune and also Jupiter. So interesting combination here. So first thing I'm going to talk about is Neptune in Capricorn in the 9th house. So the people that she will want to work with is people who build dreams, create fantasies that are societally approved through regulations or communications. So I see this more as people who are involved in policy, could be, and then they're able to create dreams. So interestingly, I guess it's for my sister to work with, it's basically in the insurance company, people who like create the ideal, like, this is your life if you take this insurance. So interesting. And then also people, Jupiter and Taurus in first house, people who are generous in a material way in their worldview or how they present themselves. So it could be like teachers who teach about like the material things. It's like who teach us about how to make money, how to be comfortable. It's not just about money because Taurus is money, yes, but also material comfort, how to create a life that is materially comfortable. And these people are very good in that they're quite optimistic when it comes to how they see the world. So it's they can be teachers as well. So these are the people that you should be working with. And the last part we're going to look at is, okay, let me also see my sisters. So the astrology that I do is also psychological astrology. And for my sister, she is very strong in this pattern called the Moon Pluto. So the Moon Pluto pattern is basically people who are very emotionally intense. They are just like basically when they get hurt very deeply, but then they're also like very suspicious of other people. And the good thing for my sister is because the people who go to her are already very suspicious about everything in their lives, especially when it comes to their relationships. And my sister is able to help them because she herself has this pattern where she's kind of like suspicious. She's kind of like needs to know a lot of things before she can actually take action. So because of her caring nature, because of her Moon and Pluto heaviness, she's able to help whoever comes to her. So the more that she can show people that, hey, you know what, I care for you deeply, I care for you really, really, then the more she's able to help people. And interestingly, she does that. And you guys can see me as, oh my gosh, YQ is a spiritual practitioner. She should be the one like, oh, like Guan Yin like that, like helping other people. I don't actually. I don't. But my sister is the type who do that. For me, it's like I feel like for me, it's I give the tools for people to help themselves. But my sister is really the one who helps people, like holding hands type of helping. Okay, so it's a very different. It's a very different lifestyle and also very different strengths as well. I definitely am not someone who will hold your hand. I will probably like hold your hands for like 30 seconds. I was just like, are you done? Can we just move on? So I'm more brash. I'm more like, let's get on with it. So for my sister, I talked about this previously before with her. So the last thing we're going to talk about is her life mission. So when I look at the birth chart, we also look at what you do. What you do. So what you do encompasses your life mission, your career, and what you do every day. So for my sister, her life mission is represented by, if you have a birth chart with you, right, you can also look for it, represented by this one. This is called the North Node. And right across the North Node would be the South Node. But then this computer software doesn't show it. So this is actually like two balancing things. So for her, my sister, it could have been very comfortable for her in the past to be very perfectionist, to be very like, I need things to be this way, must be this way. Very perfectionist, very service oriented as well. She wants to help people, but when she helps you, it must be her way, cannot be your way. It's like, I help you my way and then you follow my way. I don't know what I can say this about sister, but I think she'll be chill about it. Don't. Basically, that is her past. But for her to really become the best version of herself, she needs to move towards the North Node. So she needs to move towards that. And then her North Node is in Pisces. Pisces is the opposite of Virgo. Pisces, we talked about it just now. It's like being more free creatively, letting go of control, being more empathetic, versus the Virgo side of like, I help you because it's good for you. But Pisces is, I help you because I understand your pain, I understand what you're going through, and let me help you with that. So for my sister, really, it's that, and the funny thing is also for my sister, she's in financial advisory, but it's not because of the money, because of really like, she wants to help people. When she tells me the things that she do for clients, I'm like, why would you do that? Because I'm a Sun Taurus. I'm like, you only do that if you can, get something out of it. But for her, no, she is actually super caring and super wants to help people. Like we see Mars next to North Node. For her, it's also that it will be hard for her to do this. It's built into her DNA, but it's something that needs to struggle and need to learn before she can do that. So for her, it's that she will need to learn to let go of control, let go of like, I help you because you have to follow my way, but I help you because I care about you, because I want to help you. And her Mars is in Pisces, and it's so near her North Node. Basically, she's there to help people that are not able to help themselves. Because Mars in Pisces, we talked about how they have high goal. They have like, oh, you know what? I want to achieve this. I want to achieve that. And once they cannot reach that, they will be so devastated. They will be so like, oh my gosh, I'm a shit kind of person, and just totally give up. So for my sister, really, is that this lifetime, she has to learn that even if things don't go your way, even if you fail, what the fuck is failing anyway, right? There's no such thing as failing if you can learn something from it. I'm like super sweary today. There's no such thing as failing if you can learn from it. So for her, it's really this lifetime. For her, it's really to save people, to help people, to show people that there is always ways you can escape whatever like things you had in the past. So this is my sister's birth chart. This is like her life mission. And then we're going to look at her career. What does her career really mean? The last time we talked about it with my sister, I told her that going into Amazon is interesting because her career is her MC. Her career is represented by Aquarius. Aquarius is ruled by both Uranus and also Saturn. And funny thing is, her Uranus and Saturn are basically on the same page. They're all together. So basically, for her, my sister, right, her career will be represented by being different, Uranus, but also being structured in a very, knowledgeable way in other people's money. So for her, it's really that she needs to be other people's money or transformation or psychology. So in the future, if you decide to like go into psychology, it's possible as well. But for you, your career will involve you being both different and also being very structured and very traditional. So interesting way could be that helping people invest in stocks that are like very out there, and also being very different. So for her is that she embodies both of the traditional way and the new ways. So I guess this is a good combination because you're able to both see like whatever might be coming in the future and also whatever is needed to create structure and create stability. So that is what your career is. I did tell her that she can go into Amazon because Uranus is really about like innovation as well. Yeah, but then she tried out Amazon a bit. I hope it's still going well. And the next thing we're going to look at is her daily work, like what she'll be doing every day. So her daily routine is represented by the sixth house. The sixth house is Libra. Libra is ruled by Venus. So what she'll be doing every day, interestingly, is really the Venus side of things, like showing care, relating to other people through talking in areas related to money and personal values. And the reason I say talking, it could be talking or it could be also information because her Venus is in Gemini. My Venus is in Gemini as well. So, but her Venus is retrograde. She is born with a Venus retrograde, which means that for her, sometimes showing care can be quite difficult because she's like, oh yeah, you know what? Maybe, you know, I really don't know how to show care. Even though inside you want to show care, you're just like, I don't know how, you know, do I hug people? Do I do this and that? The good thing is that if you're actually working within a structure and then they show you, you know what, these are the steps you can take to show care, then you can follow it. So that's great. So to show care to people, to also relate to them through talking, through information, especially in the house, in the money side, which I think represents what she's doing now. Yeah. So guys, we just ended 30 minutes. I think in the beginning I rambled on a bit, but this is what goes on during a career profiling. So if you missed it, don't worry, you can go back and watch this video, and I'm going to send my sister this video as well. What did I want to say? So basically, I have been doing this for my astrology teacher these past weeks. It's been interesting. The thing with this is that if you are born before, if you are not yet 30 years old, I feel that this might not fit what you're doing now, because I had clients who were less than 30 years old. They really could not see how the birth chart would come out. And the reason I say 30 years old, 28 to 30, is because you only reach your Saturn return at 28 to 30 years old. And it's only after your Saturn return. So Saturn return means that the planet Saturn, the real planet Saturn in outer space, comes back to the degree that it was when you were born. So my sister is way past her Saturn return. That's great, which means that whatever I'm telling her now would probably be something that she has already been doing. And I had a client who basically she didn't do any sidelines. And when I told her, you know what? Oh, something interesting is also if you want to think about what can work for you, is that what do people go to you for? What do people, when they have problems, they go to you for what for? And then figure out things from there. So my client was like, she felt that people go to her for life advice. And she was a very strong Taurus. Basically, whatever advice she gave them was very practical, very dependable. And basically, it's like, it's not like, let's meditate and overcome this problem. Of course, there are some problems we need to meditate. I have been meditating a lot these days and it's super well. But for people with heavy Taurus, they give very practical advice. But my sister, she's a very Pisces heavy. Probably meditating is good.